YouTube? It's Rampage here. We're back at it with another video, another book, and I'm so excited to talk about this one because it's one topic, one character that everybody who likes Legends, everybody who likes Star Wars, especially the deeper kind of Star Wars, loves this character. What are we talking about today? We're talking about Revan. Revan, also known as Darth Revan. And who do we want? We want Keanu Reeves to play that dude, right? We want Keanu Reeves. Revan is one of the most decorated and celebrated characters in Star Wars Legends history. He has led the charge as both a Jedi and a Sith Lord in that history. So it's one person that's got a very complicated history, and he's an awesome guy to talk about. Also, before we go much further, make sure you subscribe to this channel and then turn on your notifications so you know when my videos go live. Once again, we're talking about the Old Republic Revan. Written and released in 2011 and written by Drew Karpyshyn, one of my favorite Star Wars authors. This book takes place 3,954 years before the Battle of Yavin, so a long time before A New Hope. Revan is one of the most interesting characters in Legends history because he has been so accomplished as both a Jedi and a Sith Lord in both respects. It could be argued that Revan has probably one of the most complicated histories of anybody in Legends or canon. There's a large backstory that Revan has before the events of this book, so I want to make sure to get into some of that backstory so you understand just how complicated his history and what kind of struggles he's going to have to go through in this book. Revan was born in the Outer Rim territories, kind of where Tatooine lies, and was discovered by the Jedi when he was a kid. After passing the trials and becoming a Jedi Knight, he's very known for being outspoken against the Jedi Order for how they handle their involvement in the Mandalorian Wars. This is all according to Legends, of course, not canon. So far, the character of Revan is considered canon. However, the story of Revan, as it appears in Legends, is still not considered canon. Amongst his frustrations with the Order, he separated himself from the Jedi Order to create a sect called the Revankists. This was in order to battle the Mandalorians in his own right as the supreme commander of the Republic's military. Revan eventually pushed back the Mandalorian army and defeated Mandalore the Ultimate, as he was known during that time. The leader of the Mandalorians is always called Mandalore, but each Mandalore takes his own title, and this title for him was Mandalore the Ultimate. After defeating the Mandalorians, he was deemed a champion by the Senate and was even offered the Senate's highest regard, which is the Cross of Glory. After being hailed as heroes by the Senate and the Republic, Revan and Malak, which was his partner in crime during this time, who also became a Jedi with Revan under the Jedi Order during that time, they both traveled to the unknown regions to find out why this war was started by the Mandalorians. They had a sneaking suspicion that there was a Sith influence to create and start this war. In their findings, they discovered a Sith empire that was led by the Emperor Darth Vitiate. Once Revan and Malak discovered the Sith empire, they confronted Darth Vitiate and then also became manipulated and turned to the dark side to become Darth Revan and Darth Malak. This is when Revan's history gets really interesting. It's then that Darth Vitiate send Darth Revan and Darth Malak to investigate the Star Forge, which is a weapon they would use to try to start a war against the Republic. Darth Vitiate at that time had Darth Revan and Darth Malak under a certain mind control that was a Sith technique that he used to control them. Instead of doing Darth Vitiate's bidding, Darth Revan and Darth Malak broke free from Vitiate's mind control and actually seeked out the Star Forge for themselves in order to create their own Sith Empire and start their own war against the Republic. So they broke free from Vitiate's Sith Empire. They then went on to create this Sith Empire and create their own fleet of starships in order to start a war with the Republic. Darth Revan and Darth Malak almost succeeded in defeating the Republic, but eventually Darth Malak wanted to assume this throne of that Sith Empire they created, and then fired upon Darth Revan in his flagship. This was all the while during a Jedi ambush that was led by Bastila Shan, who later married Darth Revan. Darth Revan was nearly killed during this encounter, but he was saved and healed by Bastila, who then took him to the Jedi Order for judgment under the Jedi Council. The Jedi Council then proceeded to use a very old Jedi technique to wipe his memory of any of the wrongdoings that he did before, and retrain him as a Jedi. Revan was then tasked of locating the Star Forge and defeating the newly created Sith Empire. Revan picked up some allies along the way of locating the Star Forge, but he was eventually intercepted by Darth Malak. Malak then revealed himself to be the former Dark Lord that Revan once knew, and then he also captured Bastila and turned her to the dark side. Revan survived that encounter and took a last stand shot with the Republic and the Republic's remaining fleet. against the Starforge that Darth Malak then had at his disposal. During Revan's last stand shot with the Republic, he also saved Basila and turned her back to the light side. He then proceeded to destroy Darth Malak and destroy the Sith Empire that he himself helped create. It was then that Revan married Basila and then sank into obscurity on Coruscant. This will eventually lead us to our prologue of the story. Revan starts to have nightmares in his sleep and waking up in the middle of the night, and it has to do with him trying to recover his memory from his past life. He's recovered a lot of his memory at this point, but he's still struggling to remember some of the more darker parts, especially the time where he left the Jedi and the Republic to discover what was behind the Mandalorians starting the war. He wants to remember what he found, and he also wants to know why Mandalore decided to start that war and why they were influenced to start it. Along the way, we're also introduced to another character named Lord Scourge, who is a Sith Lord that finished his training about 2 years prior and returned to Dromund Kaas, which was the location of the Sith Academy. Lord Scourge was hired by one of the members of the Dark Council. There's 12 members in all. This one's name was Darth Neris, and she hired him to try to investigate assassination attempts on her life. The Emperor actually suggested him over anyone that was close to Darth Neris because he knew that anyone outside of her circle wouldn't be too close to the politics of the Dark Council. Eventually, these two characters, Lord Scourge and Revan, are going to cross paths because Revan is attempting to try to find the cause of the Mandalorian Wars and the Jedi Civil War, and little does he know that Darth Vitiat's Sith Empire is still alive and well. Drew Karpyshyn is another author that we have not yet mentioned on this channel, but let me tell you, he is absolutely one of my favorite authors of the Star Wars books that have been written in Legends. You get a great sense of every character's feeling, the weight of every situation, and the details of every surrounding. If Tim Levin makes you feel like you're watching the movie version of the book, Drew Karpyshyn makes you feel like you're watching the IMAX 3D version of this movie. You just feel completely immersed in the story, and I'll tell you, every single time I read a book written by Drew, I have a very hard time putting it down. It's just that good. I had to try to give this lengthy backstory so you understand just the kind of complications that Revan's going through to lead up to this story. Although some of the references that I made before, I believe they make these references in the book as well. I don't want to spoil any more of the story for you, so I want to make sure you check the description below for the link to this book so you can go ahead and purchase it and get right into it. Trust me, you won't regret it. Make sure once you read the book, or if you've already read the book, comment in the comment section below and let me know what you thought of this book. Next time on this channel, we're going to talk about a book that delves into the story of a Sith Lord that leads an attack on the Jedi Order and ends up cutting down the master of a young Jedi that then seeks to find revenge on this Sith Lord. We'll come to find that she's almost willing to break any rules to find out what happened to her master. As always, make sure to check the description below for my social links, Twitch, Twitter, and Discord, where you can join the Village! And as always, until next time, be sure to run!